McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Wasco wishes to inform the public of a planned maintenance on its raw water pipeline on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. During this period, water pressure and supply to customers from Millet to Cap Estate will be affected. Upon completion of these scheduled works, residents at higher elevations and at the end of the distribution line may experience additional delays as the network stabilizes. The public is therefore strongly advised to collect and conserve water where possible. Wasco apologizes to its valued customers for any inconvenience caused as we work towards infrastructure resilience and restoration of regular water supply. Look out for updates on our website and social media platforms.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knightsmed Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Relay Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Another wonderful Monday afternoon to you, everyone. It is the 27th day of the month of October, 2025. This is The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, happily accompanied this afternoon by my two co-hosts. To my immediate left, Miguel Evelyn Favrier, and to my extreme left, Terry Fenelon. It's so nice seeing and having you gentlemen after what I'm sure was an extremely busy, vibrant, engaging weekend for you all. That you all both look fresh, no hint of fatigue of any kind, or something else which I would mention, no hint of. It looks like you not only were very active, but very well behaved on the weekend. Our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. Our program, as you know, airs weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on the radio station Real FM that serves you on two frequencies, 91.3 megahertz for the northern part of St. Lucia and 91.5 for the south. Hope you're having a good day so far and a good start to the week. I am. It's looking lovely. It's feeling wonderful. I'm still trying to figure out what gave me such bad, crippling headaches, on the weekend. The brain fog was very bad because this ain't the hottest times that I have experienced. I mean, there have been hotter times. You've heard me complain about them. But I don't know why. I struggled with headaches and I did things that I normally try my best to avoid. The painkillers, the paracetamol and acetaminophen, because I've done some reading on them, which is a bit scary about what they can do to your liver. Although the liver thing with the Panadol is if you drink while taking it and so on, which I haven't done, at least not to any strength of significance, maybe a bear every once.
That's what I say too.
Everyone, no, I don't take more than one, more than once a blue moon and so on. So I don't think I'm in danger in that regard. But I try my best not to. But this weekend I had twice, to take a couple. And immediately I felt better, And I'm wondering whether it was the acetaminophen or whether it was the fact that it was acetaminophen in combination with caffeine. It had some caffeine in it. And caffeine tends to be like a bit of a stimulus. So the brain fog this morning, after I decided, hey, man, for whatever it's worth, you got to die someday, take the thing. I immediately felt better. But it's not something that I encourage you to do. Still trying to figure out what it might be. Before we get into the meat of matters, which I'm sure would have to do with Journée Creole celebrations yesterday, the plethora of road accidents that we seem to be having, which involved at least one fatality, heartbreaking because it was a toddler, a very, very young child and so on. And, we feel especially sad because children are not participants in any of this in terms of being the drivers or being people who like to egg on drivers and tell them, go for it and do it. Some, of course, caution the drivers and tell them, cool out and stop what you're doing and so on. But little children, they have absolutely no say. They're in the total care and at the mercy of the adults. And to always lose one of them, whether they're coming from school, whether the accident that occurred at Jamari on the John Compton Highway, where children innocently standing by the roadside waiting for a bus, Some guy decides to get adventurous, to do a pop wheelie on a motorcycle, that he obviously doesn't have the skill, the experience or control, loses control, and guess who pays, the virtual butcher's bill in terms of what we might consider maims, infirmities and disabilities and so on that they might probably carry for them with the rest of their lives. But we want to go to Jamaica this weekend. So what are we doing, Jaquan? You going to make the call or you want me to make it from my phone? All right. He says, make it from my phone. And we want to go to Jamaica to find out what's happening there. How are they coping? How are they bearing up under the onslaught, whether actual now or pending onslaught of Hurricane Melissa. And we want to see what's happening. So there is a St. Lucian broadcast journalist who who has been living and working in Jamaica for, I suspect, almost 20 years now, if not more than 20. So we are going to be trying to reach her right now. In fact, she was my co-worker in the News and Current Affairs Department at Radio St. Lucia back in the day. She would, of course, be well known to Miguel. And I'm talking about...
sister of a
yes,
colleague, a very close
she's
friend,
a sister of a colleague of ours. And she's already on the line and taking the call. So let's say good afternoon to broadcast journalist, St. Lucian in Jamaica for many years, Miss Janella Precious. Janella, good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us and for taking the call so instantly.
Hi, Shelton. It is my pleasure. So because I was expecting to hear from you, I answered after the first ring.
Wonderful, wonderful. We appreciate that. And it just brings to my mind that maybe the last time that I had you on a live interview was maybe 2 decades ago. Is that as long as Hurricane Dean was? I remember you kept referring to it as Bad Boy Dean,
Yeah, Bad Boy Dean. And now we have, as the Jamaicans would say, Bad Gal Melissa.
Bad Gal Melissa. All right, what is the situation as it stands now, Janella, in terms of Melissa's impact on Jamaica? There's already AI-generated falsehoods around showing that Jamaica has been totally leveled. But, other more sane corrections have said it isn't that bad. It's the approach, it's the initial stages. So where do things now stand as we speak?
Okay, so as we stand, things as it stands now, I'm outside the building in my office. I am in Kingston. What is happening now is that it's a little windy, so the wind is picking up speed. It is also overcast. It has been overcast for the most part of the morning. And in some parishes in Jamaica, they have been experiencing wind as well. Rain right now is intermittent. I just got some images from our correspondent in Montego Bay, St. James. It's very interesting, the contrast. It appears sunny. We saw people fishing and just waiting and watching the seas down that section of the country. They're very calm. But again, that is the calm before the storm, because we just had a press conference a little while ago, and the head of the Met Service, I'm sorry, Shelton, the wind is picking up. So
yes.
Let me just move a little. Right. So the head of the Met Service in Jamaica just informed the country that we will start experiencing deteriorating weather conditions somewhere in the evening, and the Hurricane Melissa, she is expected to make landfall between late tonight into the morning. Now, when Melissa makes landfall, it will make landfall in the southwestern belt of the country in a parish called St. Elizabeth. Interestingly, that parish is still reeling from the effects of Hurricane Beryl, which was last year. So it would appear that it is taking a similar path. And so when it enters St. Elizabeth, now just to be clear, it's not to say that other parishes like Kingston and St. Andrew, where we are, and towards the eastern end where you have St. Thomas and Portland, and it is not to say that they are not going to experience hurricane type conditions, but the brunt, the full impact, as the Jamaicans would say, the full 100 is going to be felt down there. This is where you're going to see the eye of the hurricane. And so you have parishes like St. Elizabeth, you have Westmoreland, you have St. Anne. These are the parishes that will feel the full brunt of Melissa. Now, Shelton, as you know, Cat 5, but a Category 1 and tropical storm conditions, these are also very serious. So which is why the entire country will be impacted in some way or the other. It is just that, more so in other in other parishes.
All right.
I hope I was able to explain that
of course,
clearly.
Wonderfully. But the long and short of it is that from where you're standing, you're not seeing objects flying and branches and sheets of galvanized as yet. If ever that happens, let's hope it doesn't.
Not yet. It's just that, and I'm sure that you can hear it, the wind is picking up speed. The wind is picking up speed as we speak, and I would encourage you, since you are on air on YouTube, there's this gentleman who has CCTV cameras in strategic locations in Jamaica that you can see for yourself. So, for example, it's called See Jamaica, SEE Jamaica. That's on YouTube. I don't know if you have access right now, but you are able to see, for example, the harbor, Kingston Harbor. You would see where the waves are looking a little ferocious out there, and then you can see other sections of the country. For example, Maypen. Unfortunately, though, you will not see those parishes that will get the full brunt of the storm. But no, Shelton, we are not experiencing anything major as yet. However, as the head of the Met Service did say, later this evening, like we're talking about 6 o'clock, this is where you're going to start seeing the rain. And obviously, certain places you're going to get, the wind and other conditions.
Of course, Jamaica could always get a surprise miracle of veering away from it at the last minute. It has happened.
That is not going to happen.
Okay.
That is not going to happen. A lot of people were hoping, but we are going to feel this head on.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of just bracing for the worst. As you know, we're Caribbean nations. We can't withstand too much water because, the flooding. In the Caribbean, we build our houses. Some people, not everybody, but certainly there's a very small section of section of the population that they build their houses with the zinc fences. So you know that the zinc is going to fly. We just have to hope for the best. And we also hope that persons living in flood-prone areas, that by now, it is hoped that by now, and not in the night, that they evacuate. That's another thing. That's one of the challenges that the government is facing right now, getting these people who live in low-lying communities to evacuate and go to shelters. But persons are waiting for the last moment. I don't think it is safe to do so at night because we don't even know if the power is going to remain at night. So that is problematic.
All right. And it's a good thing that you segued into this. The matter of the flooding, you often tend to focus on the wind, but flooding is always a very big problem in almost all the Caribbean islands. What is the danger facing Jamaica as it has experienced before this time along? Are there some serious flood warnings out, especially for certain parishes and communities?
Correct, because Melissa, as a Cat 5 hurricane, is expected to dump as much as 30 to 40 inches of rain. And so, Caribbean country, again, coastal, the flooding that is likely to come with that, it is going to be devastating. We talk about places, for example, where you have businesses. Already we have seen persons using sandbags, hoping that will help. We're not sure how much the sandbags, will be able to mitigate any major thing, but certainly the flooding is a problem. Maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago, there was a major flood disaster. And I call it a disaster because quite a few business people, they were left facing a lot of damage to their infrastructure, etc. And this is something that we hadn't seen before. So it tells us that, one, climate change is real. And two, one of the things that the government going forward will have to consider is the building practices in places like the urban centers. We have seen where a lot of the land space is now being used as, apartments and other buildings are now being placed there. And so it is something that they will definitely have to revisit, because most of the urban areas and certainly the major towns and cities in Jamaica, they are now becoming concrete jungles, so to speak. And so because of that, the flooding is more severe because you don't really have that land space, that empty land space where, the water would seep in. No, we have the concrete and not enough drainage. And so that presents a problem.
Jamaica-based St. Lucian broadcast journalist Janella Precious. Thank you so very much, and you stay safe. And we hope to speak with you.
I am actually going on the road now to see what's popping.
Oh, Janella.
But I do intend to stay safe. Safety first, always. And thank you so much for having me, Shelton.
Miguel Fevre, who's sitting right next to me, would like to say hello. I don't know if you remember him. He must have been quite a baby.
I remember Miguel.
Hi, Janella. How are you doing? I'm wonderful, and you stay safe.
Good.
I'm hearing you talking about to hit the road. You're giving me some real nostalgic feelings of having to. When we're out on the road, storms approaching, although there's no all clear, we're out looking to see what's going on. So I can imagine the excitement, yet the bit of trepidation as to the effects that it may have on the community and the island in particular.
Correct. Excitement, I don't know. It's more anxiety.
Yeah.
To be honest, as a journalist in the space, this time around, I'm not necessarily as excited to go out because I do understand and I do realize what is facing us. And it really concerns me about what is likely to happen in the aftermath. But, as journalists, we move and we keep it professional.
You do what you have to do.
But I can't tell you though that unofficially, NEMO is among those agencies standing ready and prepared to offer any assistance that is possible, because we actually did have a meeting about it this morning, just speaking about what may possibly happen in Jamaica, and we will activate, of course, our assistance and our aid as a country as soon as it is clear for us to do so.
Safe to do so, correct.
Right.
Yes, that is another thing that is just quite amazing. Quite a few Caribbean countries have been offering to assist where necessary. We got, in addition to NEMO, officials in Barbados also, and I'm sure that there are other Caribbean nations, that's really watching this closely, because you would understand, Miguel, that at the university alone, you have scores of Caribbean nationals. And we have seen where already, certainly the St. Lucia consulate here, we were not able to, not we, but the consulate here, it wasn't able to fly the students, the St. Lucian students, to St. Lucia, because as you know, the limitations with the airport, and it's actually now closed. So the students from St. Lucia have been put up at one of the hotels in Kingston. In Trinidad, those students who were able to leave have already left. The Bahamas also last week would have sent a flight for their students there. So it is in the best interest of the Caribbean to assist as well, because if something happens in St. Lucia, I'm sure the same thing would happen. So we really do appreciate the Caribbean support, and again, we just have to wait and see what will happen.
Thank you very much, Janella. Do have a good and safe remainder of the day, and of course, all the best as you face this menace called Hurricane Melissa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shelton. Bye, Miguel.
Bye, my darling.
All right.
Shelton, in keeping with this thing, there's a video from the Minister of Education. It's just a minute long. You don't.
Sorry.
We should.
Do we have this?
Yes.
Have you given it to Jaquan?
Yes.
I really want to. Yeah, I want to big up the government on that too. So,
yeah.
Good morning, folks. My name is Sean Edward. I'm the parliamentary representative for Dennery North and the Minister for Education in St. Lucia. This morning we are waking up to fair weather, lovely skies in St. Lucia. But as we go through today, let us spare a thought for our friends in Jamaica, in particular the St. Lucian students who are currently studying in Jamaica. As you probably know, Jamaica is bracing for the impact of Hurricane Melissa, a very strong system which is expected to impact Jamaica in a profound way. And so as a result of that, Prime Minister Philip JP and myself as Minister for Education, we have put measures in place to ensure that our students are comfortable in Jamaica. The government of St. Lucia has secured hotel accommodation for our students, and we've also made some cash available to them so that they can get supplies as they prepare for the hurricane. So today, as I said, lovely weather in St. Lucia, but please, as we go through this Monday, let us spare a thought for our students in Jamaica, Jamaican nationals, and everybody currently residing in Jamaica as they brace for the impact of Hurricane Melissa.
Okay, so the Minister for Education, Honorable Sean Edward, giving this very, I might say, encouraging, inspiring words at a time when things are not looking so bright, especially for our Jamaican brethren and sistren in the fellow CARICOM country. And of course, the pledges of assistance and the coming together, all part of the setup of CDIMA.
Yes, CDIMA. And just to add to that, Sean did not go into detail, but I think this morning he did intimate on Safa Nu that the government, through the consulate, of course, through government St. Lucia, through the consulate, has ensured that the students who are out there are placed at a hotel at our cost. And also they were given $5,000 each as a means of getting their hurricane supplies and everything, in addition to what they would have had at their respective dorms and apartments. And I mean, I'd like to congratulate our government for taking that, but I think this has happened throughout the region. A number of governments have taken the lead, or taken the initiative to ensure that their students, their nationals who are studying in Jamaica, are well taken care of. And this is what CARICOM is and should be all about.
Yeah, he also said that some of the students opted to remain on hall, and some of them, they are family, they opted to stay with family members. So, Miguel, I think our government has done the right thing. A hotel usually is a very safe place, the structure and stuff. And I saw, just before I came, I saw something on a flabo on Facebook talking about, the government is heartless, they put the children up in hotels. I mean, the ridiculousness of this.
Mark said that, man?
Yes. Antigua was the first thing I read. Put the students up at a hotel, I don't know which one, made sure that they are safe and comfortable, and giving them money to buy supplies, because in the aftermath, we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, there may be no water. The place might be shut down for a while. We don't know the extent of the destruction. So that is it. So after that, if they need to be flown out, I am sure that the Prime Minister and the Minister of Education will take steps to fly them out until there is some level of normalcy returning to Jamaica.
It's funny you say that, because this morning I was remarking that one stupid flubbo is going to come out and ask, where's the government getting the money from?
Not one stupid, all of the flubbos.
No,
right now they're attacking Reno because Sheldon.
Anyway, we have about a couple of minutes to go before the ad break. So Terry, you've been pretty quiet. It looks like I've kept you a little bit tied down with that.
No. That I was my thoughts. No, actually,
somebody has sent a little bit of mapui for you. I don't know if she sent it to you herself. Somebody who's jealous of you. Don't try nothing sinister there with no hot fit after the Creole weekend. Boom.
No Creole.
Listen to that now, Terry. Why are you saying all outfits return to normal from today? So you must be looking so good and so.
Well, we have to tell them Creole is a way of life, It's not a day, and we have to. Today I felt like being petty, playing the Taiwanese fella, and Ukudi, and because yesterday Sheldon had you moved around. I was by my watering first for a little while before I went to a private to say something, and somebody was making the point. He said, you and Sheldon have discussed this patois thing, this Creole thing, from the level of those. You can't speak it. And he says it's not about being fluent in the language, but you were here all your life. It shows a level of disrespect to the people of St. Lucia that you have not even made an effort to learn to speak certain, to say certain things. I mean, after 10 years of practice to come at Kenya and then say Ukudi, it shows a level of and look at the area that you want to represent. Ancillary Canaries. People, that's where my roots are from. These are people, a lot of them. That's how you communicate with them. But you're not making it. You're so disrespectful to the people. You're not going to make an effort, at least to try to be able to communicate. You don't have to be fluent. And that's what they like to attack us. You don't need to know patois and thing and Ovinspring and this nonsense.
And he can't give a lame excuse about his school.
You ought to make. When you had, what's the Taiwanese guy?
What name?
We have it there. We have the tape there. Who came in there in less than 2 years? The man is able to have an interview with yes. Yeah. Shall we just run that for fun? Just run it down.
Yeah, well, no, we're too close to that.
Too close to the break. Well, after we come back. Okay. We're on the break already. So it is disrespectful. At least you should be able to say a few, Sava, Bagay, whatever it is, Bamasa, Bon Après-midi, Kouale, Beverly Manger, Ati Cochon, a little something, to keep you connected to the people, but you're not even connected to the people that way.
Yes.
So on the break.
Good afternoon, Shelton. I have been reliably informed that the special prosecutor has served Nancy Charles and a few others. That true?
Well, I heard that.
Somebody else sent me something.
I want to know who a few others are. We know Nancy.
Because, Shelton, I always say there's low-hanging fruit. That permanent secretary or director of finance who signed off on that vaccine deal should have been before the courts already.
Okay.
Because they contravened the Finance Act. That was a clear case of... So you tell them two things. Either you resign peacefully, forfeit everything, or we charge you. This is a low-hanging fruit, man, and the special prosecutor should be going for that. Okay. We should not be in this limbo there now.
Somebody sent me a picture of Nancy on the cover of Time
magazine in Nigeria.
And they just said, she's been served. And so I asked, for what? And the person didn't reply until I now see something about special prosecutor.
I wonder if it's about the $500,000.
Well, you have to account for that. Because Shelton, I understood from when I listened to Richard Frederick, the day before elections, you give a work order. So the work order is for $50,000. And the same time you're collecting the work order, you getting your check one time.
Oh, boy.
Shelton, what level? I mean, if that is true, that is unheard of, Shelton. You're getting paid for your work the same day you can.
That aside,
which everybody could have that.
I wish
that kind of privilege, that kind of sweetheart deal for remuneration.
Oh, this is crazy, man.
That aside, before we go into the break, though, that aside, I can't help but think of the special prosecutor's motivations at this point. After so long.
No, don't do that. Let us say because
you don't have to.
Legal
you don't have to.
Things like legal things, you have to cross your I's and dot your T's. You can't go haphazard into that.
Yes.
And when you talk to lawyers, say, man, you have to be able to be foolproof, because if you go there haphazard, you have egg on your face, and you're gonna. So some of these things take time, and we have to understand. And I know a lot of Labour Party supporters are frustrated.
This I think.
No, Nigel. No, don't go down that route. Don't go down there.
Let's shut it down there.
Yeah, shut it down there. Don't go down that route.
Hey guys, any one of you felt the earthquake?
Yes.
Well, let me tell you this. I was watching Zafenu this morning, watching Jahim like he's right in front of me. And Jahim said how the building is shaking, the embassy building where I'm right now. You guys know I live very close to here. And I didn't feel a thing. While he was talking afterward, I heard him reading reports from people from the south, from different places saying they felt it. I never felt a thing.
Sheldon, I felt it, and I felt the aftershock.
Okay.
The first one, man, I was like, hey, boy, that's serious.
But you felt it?
And a few minutes later, I felt the aftershock.
I was in traffic. Yeah. So what's interesting is that we had a meeting this morning at Nemo, and the staff who were there, including the deputy director who's acting right now, they never felt anything. And for us, that was the reinforcement of the view that our building is actually particularly safe in that
not necessarily,
because people around it feel it.
A safe building doesn't mean it's an insensitive building. It doesn't feel anything. But it could also mean fellas like Terry who felt it. These are fellas who belong to the Maginot kind of. People like you and me, we don't feel that because we are among, the blessed class and so on. But anyway, I'm just joking. So the lady who sent Terry that provocative message about the outfit and all of that, if you see I were in the mood to send a request, this is the song I'd request, that there's a danger in loving somebody too much, Patti Smith. Yeah, I think that's the name, Patti Smith. And she did that song together with Don Henley, formerly of the Beatles. That's what I would have requested for you, because I think that this is loving somebody too much. But Terry doesn't mind, and neither do I, even though you think I'm jealous. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. We go for our first break, and when we come back, Terry and Miguel, they'll continue taking it away into, the meat of the matter, especially that arising from the weekend. We mentioned that fatal accident. My goodness me, this is terrible. Back in a moment.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Wasco wishes to inform the public of a planned maintenance on its raw water pipeline on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. During this period, water pressure and supply to customers from Millet to Cap Estate will be affected. Upon completion of these scheduled works, residents at higher elevations and at the end of the distribution line may experience additional delays as the network stabilizes. The public is therefore strongly advised to collect and conserve water where possible. Wasco apologizes to its valued customers for any inconvenience caused as we work towards infrastructure resilience and restoration of regular water supply. Look out for updates on our website and social media platforms.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters, is on at the start of another week on this Monday, the 27th of October, 2025, with me, Shelton Daniel, accompanied by co-host Miguel Fevrier and Terence Fenelon. You know, when it comes to the accidents that are taking place on the road, the only surprise that I have is that we don't have more of them. We don't have them of even greater severity. We don't have more fatalities. Why do I say that? Because of the kind of practices I see taking place on the road, regardless of whether it is night or day. I mean, people seem to be taking driving on the road as being a game, you know, and pedestrians as well as motorists, but motorists in particular. Let me tell you a little experience that I had. I'm driving towards town alongside the Conway waterfront by the government buildings. I see in my rearview mirror, there is a vehicle behind me. I'm sure I saw it. So, as we reach a little lower down where I take the right lane because I'm going into town, if I were going towards more the Conway Jean-Baptiste Street side, I would have taken the left lane. I'm looking to see, well, the vehicle behind me, where is it? I can't see the vehicle at all. I'm wondering, but did it turn into the yard of where, you know, the government building is? There's one of the buildings that has a bank, you know, ATM and so on. Maybe the person went there. It's a good thing I'm not the type of person to change, because if I had changed my line and changed lanes on the basis that there is no vehicle, next thing the vehicle, a black vehicle, goes whizzing past me. Luckily, I'm in the right lane. He takes the left. What do you think he did? He switched off his headlights. You know, he switched off his headlights and he probably has his park light on. Maybe he figures, you know, it's a nice game that he'll pass me and I won't even see him passing me. There's that kind of game playing where people are driving without their headlights, switching off headlights and leaving only their park lights on. Some are switching off both headlight and park light, and they have fog light on. You know, they do not understand, it seems, that lights are more than just things that you switch on and off for style. Lights have to do with not just illumination. There is something they call distance and depth perception. When you are going to make a right turn across a lane, a person's light tell you the distance that they are from you, and they also give you an idea of the speed with which they are moving. So you want to turn into the gas station at, is it Bois d'Orange already, or, you know, wherever it is, you heading towards Grosile, the lights will tell you, okay, this vehicle is roughly at a distance where I can make the turn before they come upon me. You go on your park lights, which is really meant for when you're at a stop to let somebody know that you are there, stationary and so on, provide a little illumination. It does not give you that kind of distance perception. It doesn't give you the depth perception. You put the fog lights on, the fog lights, and another person has their regular headlights behind you. You wonder whether it's one vehicle you've seen or two vehicles, because one set of the lights is close to the surface of the road. The other one is a little higher. So are you seeing a fog light and headlight combination, especially if the vehicle behind is wider? It's only when you get close to them you realize it's two separate vehicles. There is too much of that game. Plus, of course, the thing I have spoken about, I do not know where so many of our drivers learn to drive. The fellas have white LED lights. They have it on full bright. They are blinding you. They are disorienting you. But then I can't say too much, because a lot of the accidents are taking place in broad daylight, a kind of aggressive driving that I see minibus operators and taxi drivers seem to be engaging in it a lot. Their vehicles are often higher than the average person's own. So whether you buy median barriers, their lights are blinding you. There are times I've told you that, hey, you know, I cannot say how close I am to the median barrier, or how far, how much I'm in the lane, because those guys are coming there with everything that they've got, and it is clear that they're not being busted. You can't bust all of them, but you bust a few of them, the message goes out. I don't know, the overtakings that are happening and so on, all kind of weird things that are being done. So I am surprised. We must be specially blessed and protected and have the compassion of God and the grace of God that we don't have more carnage on our roads. But Miguel and Terry, you all can take it from there.
I will just continue from that point you made, because this morning I realized that I had a missed call from my wife's nephew about 10:30 last night, and it's only this morning I learned the story. He was heading home, southbound along the Bois d'Orange Monjuro highway, SNS, and somebody is speeding up the road in his lane, in the southbound lane heading north, and he is panicking. I was told that when he got home, my mother-in-law said when he got home, he was in such shock because he couldn't believe that his entire life just flashed before his eyes right now. Yeah, exactly. And it's only at the last second, Shelton, the person just switched lanes and went onto the correct lane. So you ask yourself, it can't be a game that the person was playing. It's either one of two things.
Maybe the guy fell asleep or he was on a device.
Yeah, but he couldn't have fallen asleep. I thought about the device too as well, Shelton, but I don't see any logic in speeding on the road and having to be on a device. I understand people, we all take that risk sometimes. We use the phone, we're driving at a decent pace below the speed limit where you believe that you can probably control the vehicle. It happens. But I can't believe, I refuse to believe that somebody was speeding at whatever high speed that person was going and they're on the phone or in the device. That, and in the other lane, in the opposing lane, for that matter, that just beats me. It really beats me. I think that this is the issue with our people.
And sometimes the person who's doing all that wrong thing, he has his lights at maximum.
Exactly.
Sometimes, when they're doing the wrong thing, you cannot react because they are blinding you. They are disorienting you. I mean, I don't know the craziness that's happening on the road.
But again, it speaks to the bigger picture of empathy and thinking about other people and not only yourself. Because the moment there are so many times I wish I could have just come out of the car and stopped and apologize, because you're driving, you don't even realize, only at the last second you realize, you see the blue beam on your dashboard saying that you're indicating that your headlights high beams are on. And I've had those situations driving from the south and you can't see, you put it on and you're driving and you even forget that your high beams are on. But when you see someone approaching, you check fast to see what's going on. So it comes down to the basic principle of empathy among our people, and maybe that itself is lacking among our drivers.
Well, I can tell you something. You see on the roads, you see the empathy you talk about. What I see here is a self-gratification that, I will do whatever is pleasing to me, showing off my lights or whatever it is, or their brightness and brilliance is what is important to me, other people. Because I understand that what you say about sometimes you forget, with the thing. But over time when you are driving, that should be a reflex.
Yeah.
That your finger reaches for that thing to pull it up immediately. Now, even sometimes when you do that, the guys still have their bright. You give them the little flicker,
and they still do it.
They still hold their ground with what they're doing. And what it caused me to think of over the weekend, maybe the driving learning process needs to change. Because driving now, the learning process is from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. You cannot be teaching somebody to drive after sunset. Now, how does a person know some of the basics or the rudiments of night driving if they have never practiced it in thing? So that they can have a night driving instructor who can tell them, look, as you are reaching there, you see that light coming, pull up your switch to dim your lights, to tell them how to cope with a bright light. Somebody do it. This is what you do. You orient yourself on the left, which is why when I'm driving in the inner lane, it's extremely difficult to do that, because you cannot orient yourself on the left-hand side when you're driving on a right-hand inner lane. It's either you're going to scrape on the median barrier or you're going to veer into the lane of another guy who's passing you at the same time. So sometimes where it makes sense to take the inner lane, I drive the outer lane all along, which in defensive driving, I remember Errol Alexander tell you have a right to be in the inner lane, but you can drive defensively better if you stick to the outer left side and so on. So this matter about compassion and so on, people don't have it on the road, it's self-gratification strictly. There has to be some enforcement as a deterrent.
All right, and just to express deep condolences to the family of the toddler who would have lost his life in that vehicular accident.
And the child's father was there, he saw that, he carried the limp, lifeless body of his son,
I thought of my child. And here's the thing, Terry Shelton. I tend to speed at times, but I don't ever, and I have never done it with people in my vehicle. Never. This is the one thing I'm always worried about, being responsible for my family, much less my family. Being responsible for someone else's life in that respect. Because as a driver, motorcyclist as well, you may see the danger approaching, the hazard approaching, and you're more likely to take the defensive measure, whether you brace yourself if you think there's going to be impact and that kind of thing. Your passengers are in most cases the ones left helpless. They're unable to brace in time and that kind of thing to protect themselves. That is one thing. But before I also want to say one more thing. This is for the administrators at the OKEU hospital. I'd meant to do that months ago as well, but this is also a plea from the doctors and nurses at the pediatric ward. The pediatric ward, there's internet here, Shelton, but it's only accessible. The Wi-Fi is only accessible from at the front, at the door, at the entrance to the ward itself. So you have the nurses, the doctors inside, the children who are in the wards. I mean, it was hell. I saw children who were in there have their little devices, their tablets, had to go all the way to the door, away from their rooms to get that done. The doctors and nurses still did ask me to make that plea on their behalf back then. I forgot to do it. Number one, to ensure at OKU, the pediatric ward, that there is internet throughout the ward because it's not accessible from within the ward. And number two, I think there's a shortage, or there were no, I think they call them urinals, potties, urinals at the pediatric ward. The doctors said that there was none. I did speak to Dr. Clark, and she said that she was unaware of that as well. But to the management of the OKU, please ensure that you take a visit to the pediatric ward and just speak to the doctors and nurses, because they did ask me to make a plea on their behalf months ago. That was 2 months ago, and I completely forgot that.
Okay, all right. Terry.
Yeah, Shelton, on that lighting, I was tempted to change the headlights in my vehicle,
To put some brighter thing?
Yeah, because I can't beat them. I had to join them. But my police partner said, no, don't do that. You might very well get busted.
Yeah, we might.
But it is a concern, Shelton. And at nights, let me tell you, at nights, I do not drive in the inner lane. Shelton, I stick to the outer lane.
Yeah, that's what I realized.
And it doesn't matter who's in front of me. I take my time. That's my default action. My 30 or 20 miles per hour, doesn't matter. I stick to the outer lane. Doesn't mean that I can't get in an accident, but this thing is just problematic. Problematic, Shelton.
Yeah.
Now I came to Shelton. As I do, I felt like being petty, going after these fellas for the Creole, but leave that alone. I sometimes.
Okay, I'll tell you while you get your thoughts together. Jaquan, let's put on the screen the flyer for the rescheduled launching of the Choiseul and Saltibus candidate, Kifo Charles. That'll take place on Sunday, the 2nd of November. That's Sunday approaching, from 3 p.m. at the same venue for it was initially scheduled for the Lafag playing field. So Kifson Charles, the St. Lucia Labour Party, the governing St. Lucia Labour Party's candidate for Choiseul and Saltibus, is going to be launched on Sunday, the 2nd of November, 3 p.m. at the Lafag playing field. So the Kifo Mania is going to be there to... this is John Paul Estef. And I thought I had forwarded it to you.
For the Kifo? It's there from last week.
Yeah. I thought I had forwarded it to you. Sorry about that. Looks like sometimes you believe that you've done certain things and you haven't done them. But I'll forward it again. Sorry about that, Jaquan. Maybe I forwarded it to myself on another number, and then I thought it was to you. Okay. It should come to you right now. I don't know how long it will take for you to load it. But gentlemen, in the meantime, what do we do? Do we open the phone lines? Or?
I have picture one there just to show you something that happened on Friday. Picture one, a budget promise is made and kept. Picture one, yes, you could just flash it on screen. Let me read that. Shelton. Okay, it's on. All right. Because when Philip JPM makes a promise, he keeps his promise. And on Friday, I understand Friday was what the 26th? I think.
No, 24th.
24th? You sure?
Yeah, man, 27th. Yeah, 27th.
Government invests in early childhood education. 106 preschools supported. 106 preschools supported. What happened? Each of them got $3,000 grant to upgrade the classrooms, resources, and facilities. I mean, you might say that's not a lot. This is something. The other administration gave nothing. Tuition subsidy payment on behalf of parents. Listen to that. 3,635 parents benefit. Each family receives a $100 per term tuition subsidy. Let me read that again. 3,635 parents benefit. Each family receives a $100 per term tuition subsidy. So a total investment so far of $681,500. The government is working bit by bit, step by step. There are advances, and we our people, our citizens are benefiting. It's not going out to foreigners, it is staying with us. And so, early childhood education, that investment there, a very sound and timely investment in the education of our preschoolers.
You know what I like about you today? I'll refrain from mentioning a particular politician's name to get you all worked up and wired up. So you're very measured today, like our Prime Minister.
Yes.
So I would say the name Bradley. I would say the name. But also, Shelton and Terry, I sent it to Chekwan, and it's just interesting. After I made the comment about commenting our Prime Minister and Minister for Education for, of course, joining the rest of our Caribbean neighbors in ensuring that our students in Jamaica are taken care of. I'm seeing a post now from, I know we should not take on the small fries and insignificant people, but they call themselves Caribbean American News Media. Mm-hmm. Is that the pastor, PASTA, Pastor Tenderoni? Mm-hmm. The absence of similar communication from Castries has left St. Lucian students anxious and seeking clarity. Several students have reached out to Caribbean American News Media, Mrs. Simon, expressing frustration over the silence from their homeland as they prepare to face a storm with limited information or support. Regional observers are calling on the St. Lucian authorities, particularly the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of External Affairs, to urgently address the situation, ensuring that citizens abroad are informed and supported during this developing crisis. Caribbean American News Media will continue to monitor the situation closely and provide updates as the storm advances towards Jamaica.
Who's that? This Pastor Garfield guy?
Garfield guy. Now let me just say two things. Mate pulling a classic guy. Guy Joseph had a habit all throughout his tenure of knowing something is already in the works or going to happen, and he's going to come out and say, but they did not do this and they should have do that and this, and then as soon as it happens he's going to say it was his idea because it's the pressure he put on them. But number two, and most importantly, St. Lucians, you see the kind of disinformation that is being spread by the operatives of the United Workers' Party, and which is where we should understand the difference between the two parties that you have before you, because this may even be a minor thing, but when you look at the example of the kind of posts that we've had and social media content that we've had from these people, they have been very damaging to either people's reputation, people's lives, or to the country's reputation, more importantly as well. So we need to be careful, and I would say it now, stay clear of Caribbean American News, whatever they call themselves, and Pastor Garfield, because that in itself is another example of the kind of propaganda and misinformation that we're likely to get from these people.
You know, some time ago he sent me some kind of message indirectly telling me to cool out myself. I'm a big man and so on. But I don't know, I just have to tell you this whole thing about this Pastor Garfield. For a man who has presented himself as a minister of the Christian gospel, whose emphasis, whose focus is on truth. Sanctify them by means of the truth. Your word is truth. That's one of the parting prayers of Jesus Christ before his crucifixion. This means everlasting life. They're taking in knowledge of you, the only true God and the one, of saying that I am the way, the truth, and the life. You know, all of Christianity, the Gospels of Paul and so on, are founded on truth. I just find this so-called pastor relies too much upon the invention, what he invents himself, and the propagation of fables, you know? It's like it's all about fables, either that he invents them or he passes them on. If you were to ask Garfield, I hesitate to say Pastor Garfield, Garfield Oliver, I think is his name. Yeah. Give me the identity of one of the students that you spoke with. Tell me, okay, I spoke with Miguel Favre of the Mona campus of this and that. Don't tell me all of them, but don't tell me every single one of them spoke to you and they don't want their names mentioned if they're facing such an acute problem. Exactly. I would not be surprised if he cannot give you one of them. The guy is focused upon fable-oriented propaganda that is based upon inventions of his own. And I just want to say that this is completely at variance and totally inimical with the principles upon which evangelism and the ministry of the gospel of Christ is based. You know, I have to say that, you know, and this is why I'm extremely concerned when I hear fellows like that, you know, and Guy Joseph try to take the politics and mix it in with the Christianity so much that you don't know where the politics and its propaganda and where the Christianity and its supposed truth begin and end with each other. And the effect that they're having is long-term damage in that people who are marginally atheistic or people who are cynical about Christianity and evangelism and the gospel and so on, what you do is that you harden them, in the belief that this thing cannot be true, it cannot be real, because how those fellas are presenting it is simple like Christianity is a supplementary pill and adjunct towards whatever they are waging, the propaganda, the politics, the desire to be elected or re-elected or for their party to win. And these are the first people to call people hacks,
Oh, yes.
These are the first people. I wonder if they have ever gone to a dictionary and looked up the meaning of a hack, especially a political hack. A hack is somebody when concerned about anything else but the advantage that they can gain to win in politics and in this political hack. That's all. A political hack don't care whatever I have to do, whatever has to be done, whatever is caused. I want to gain the advantage. I want my party to win. I want my point of view to prevail. And I am saying to it, if you are a genuine minister of the gospel, you do nothing to hinder the gospel, which I think is the phrase that either Paul or Peter used. You do nothing to strengthen anti-Christian cynicism. You do nothing that will confirm or affirm people in their atheism. You consider the consideration of the gospel to be your paramount consideration, and that everything else must be subjugated, sublimated, must necessarily follow as a support as opposed to an obstacle to that kind of thing. I have to say that. I'm going to say it every time, fellas like Garfield and I'm not a model Christian or anything, but when I see people doing those kind of things, how will people ever believe? How will they ever have the simplicity of faith? How will they ever have the childlike ingenuousness to believe truth when they see people are mixing up truth with lie all the time like that?
Agreed.
Yeah. Gentlemen, yeah, go ahead, Miguel, quickly.
At that point again, you've noticed the latest video with Guy Joseph asking about approval for St. Jude. You noticed that he said most of it in Creole.
Of course, yes.
So it goes back to the point I've always been making, that their MO is strictly to play to. I'm not calling people who speak Creole only as ignorant, but then there's a particular way in which they couch things, and people who are not discerning will accept and receive that information.
But wasn't that the guy who disqualified himself from speaking about St. Jude?
Yes.
That he should be quiet when he hear people talking about it.
Exactly.
So why is he talking about it now?
Thank you. So you see what he's doing.
5 years has not passed under this government. They're not yet at the 5 year mark.
There you go.
He said if they could not do it, they stayed for more than 5 years. You understand? 5 years and a month and how many days? This government is not there for 5 years. You already want to come and talk about You believe accreditation, which was agreed a long time ago about who will accredit the hospital and this kind of thing. Wasn't it some Canadian body and so on that will do it and so on? The Taiwanese gave money. The matter of accreditation came up. That was already resolved. Who else? The Saudis would give money for a hospital that
That's
they know.
not accredited.
Will they give them money like that? Why is all the negotiation necessary to go into the funding and this sort of thing? If the hospital is not accredited, it cannot earn a dime. It cannot bring anything to St. Lucia. You believe the Saudis or whoever it is want to lose their money? The Taiwanese, and the Taiwanese name we're looking for is Eric. Eric,
right.
You believe those people who now can even speak Creole too. So when Guy says this thing, Eric might be listening to know how to demat him. You think those people would want to give us their money, which they are taking from the taxpayers of their country? You understand? Who pay VAT? While we are fighting VAT and we want to reduce VAT and eliminate VAT, the Taiwanese are making their people pay VAT. An aggregate of 35% taxes in all that the average Taiwanese has to pay. Taking money, taking bread from the mouths of their people to give to us, for something that they know cannot stand up, cannot pass muster. Exactly. When it comes to appraisal and accreditation and so on. These fellas, they're worse than jokers.
Oh, yes.
So
they are deceivers.
Right. So folks, you need to compartmentalize that, put that in that vault mentally, along with the same people on platform wearing Pampers. The same people who would look at you and tell you they sell our pots. And just think how ignorant these things are, and compartmentalize that with what Guy has said. Make sure you put that in that vault and hold it for later. That's it.
They cannot do otherwise. They keep repeating the same things over again, and hope it sticks, just like they've been doing. Ernest Hilaire said, you throw the mud, you throw the mud, you throw the mud. Some of it must stick at some point. That is what they're aiming for. So you don't relent even when it has been thoroughly discredited. That is why people like us, among many others, we may not want to beat our chest, and we may be humble about accepting the acclamations and the accolades of others. But what we are doing is extremely important, to stand robustly and persistently, doggedly and unflinchingly against this barrage of untruths and lies and so on, to refute and push back against them all the time. People, do not become weary in this well-doing. You know, that's a biblical, do not become weary in doing well. Stand up against the evil, deception and deceitfulness and the propaganda that even people whose specialization should be the purveying of the truth, like Pastor Garfield, you know, like Guy Joseph, that they insist upon playing fast and loose with the truth, so that you never know if and when they speak in the truth. Stand up against it and do not become weary in doing this good and helpful thing to the people of St. Lucia, because the more you say it, the more they say in the other thing. No, it cannot be that evil has the power of persistence and perseverance and goodness gets tired. Don't let that ever happen to you. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. We take a break, our final one, and when we come back, I think the phone lines will be open.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Wasco wishes to inform the public of a planned maintenance on its raw water pipeline on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. During this period, water pressure and supply to customers from Millet to Cap Estate will be affected. Upon completion of these scheduled works, residents at higher elevations and at the end of the distribution line may experience additional delays as the network stabilizes. The public is therefore strongly advised to collect and conserve water where possible. Wasco apologizes to its valued customers for any inconvenience caused as we work towards infrastructure resilience and restoration of regular water supply. Look out for updates on our website and social media platforms.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boost your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22 next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. We go to the phone lines now. The numbers you can call us on. WhatsApp call us on 487, that's 758-487-9849. And you can call us on the landline 453-3911. And if you're having difficulty getting the lines, you can also WhatsApp text us, right? By going to both websites, realfmofficial.com and mbcslu.com. You will see the WhatsApp messaging links on either website, both for that matter. And you can click on it. When the box comes, type your message in, hit the send button, and we'll get it instantly. We have our first caller, Real Issues. Hello?
Hello. My relic friend up at the cover selling la.
Hello?
Up at the cover selling la.
Hello?
Oui, nous pas ça tricky.
Oui.
Oui, man.
Moi dit moi really take quiz up at the cover selling la.
Eh ben ling la ouvert. Quand dit Rick Windicay, stop wasting time.
Okay. All right, my brother. So we need to be very careful with when we take on non-entities like Guy. Guy is constantly shifting the goals, the goalposts. Mm-hmm. First, it was if he cannot finish the hospital, he don't deserve to be in power. Of course, we dealt with that case. Secondly, now, he's talking about the hospital can never finish. And now he's almost a bright fella, a bright fella, who is going to commission the hospital and who is going to certify and not certify and all of that. Mm. Guy is the kind of politician who wants to remain relevant. The pressure he's feeling now from the candidate that the party put up against him, he has to remain relevant. So he has to find himself some way, somehow, to be in the media. Okay. So that is what's happening to him now. Now, he's feeling the pressure of woman power. And that is what he cannot deal with. You understand? And unfortunately for him, if he had a daughter, he would understand that.
So he's a man more accustomed to dealing with girl power. Maybe little girl power and so on.
Right.
But is it true power?
Right. So now he's getting some hard slaps from a woman.
Yes.
He can't deal with it.
Yes.
So he has to remain relevant. So he has to find a topic somewhere, to say this and that. We all know Guy's not a bright fella. But he wants to sound bright because he wants to remain relevant in the politics of St. Lucia. Mm-hmm. And I know the number of women he has offended over his tenure as a politician, they will deal with him. There's another word I could have used about women where they call when a woman give you a slap, they tell you get a B slap. And that's what he'll be getting from the Labour Party candidate. And that's what he can't deal with.
All
He
right.
has to remain relevant. That is my part. Yeah.
Okay, maybe he thought or he was hoping that Lisa would be more of a little girl. She's proven herself to be
But he has not only offended
an upstanding woman, you know.
women, you know. He has offended some gentlemen who are out looking for him still.
Okay.
So don't worry about that. He will be found.
All right. I wonder if he still will be brave enough to go to cricket next time.
Well, the cameras will be rolling.
We'll leave that alone. We have another call on the line. Real issues.
The Three Horsemen, good afternoon.
Good
How you doing?
Yeah, I just called to just make a statement, make a contribution. And MBC is not reliable for what I'm about to say. I'm taking responsibility for what I'm about to say. Gentlemen.
Is it anything that can put us in legal trouble?
Never.
Okay.
It's just my personal conviction. The first thing I want to say is that I am a firm believer, and that is Gaspar Henry speaking, that is me. I am a firm believer in the death penalty. I'm a firm believer in that. I do not believe that one should end someone's life and then you are left there to enjoy your life. I do not believe in that.
Well, it depends on the circumstances in which you end somebody's life, of course.
Yes.
All right? A man comes at you with a knife, you pull a piece of wood and you lash him by his head or a stone and he died. This is a man who was coming for your life.
Someone who willfully set out, someone who maliciously set out to end someone's life, and they committed the act.
That is the purpose of a trial, to find out what were the facts, what were the circumstances. You don't say that once you kill somebody, you have to die. That's why you have trials.
Yeah. Now I'm going to put that towards the reckless driving, and I'm saying that is me. That is Gaspar Henry. That is my conviction. Shelton, Terry, Miguel. It has been said that some of the drivers from the Vieux-Fort area, they remodeled the vehicle to get it faster, you know, my brother.
Well, this has been happening for a long
To
time.
get
What
it
they call,
faster.
what they call a souped-up engine, you know? I mean, that
Okay?
happens.
And you're telling me there have been lots of carnage, reckless driving that lead to ending the life of innocent people. When will it stop? And I'm saying that's why I'm saying that is.
So what are you
that's
suggesting?
My,
So what are you
that's
suggesting?
My,
What
that's
are you
my
suggesting?
take on
What are you
that, brother.
suggesting? If there's an
They have
accident
to
and somebody
upgrade the penalties.
to hang somebody because they had an accident in which somebody died?
I'm saying that's my view. If someone is found recklessly driving and it results to ending someone's life, the idea of taking your license for 2 years, they should upgrade that.
They should hang you. That's what you're saying. They should hang you.
If you are found, if you end someone's life
Why are
willfully,
you afraid to answer my direct question? Are you saying that they should hang the person?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, all right. Let me tell you, it's not going to happen. Okay. Unless it can be proven that an individual deliberately, for example, rammed this vehicle into somebody, that there was intent, that it was deliberate. The fact that it was an accident, albeit arising out of dangerous driving, careless driving, but it was not done if the
drunk driving.
No. Well, all right, drunk driving even worse. The person was not in possession of their faculties. The person didn't have their wits about them, albeit they are responsible for their drinking. But there was not the purposeful intent to kill somebody or to take a life, to hang them or to execute them for that. It's not going to happen. There is something in law called the actus reus, and there is the mens rea.
The mens rea.
The actus reus means the actual deed that was committed, and the mens rea means the accompanying state of mind or intent that accompanied the action. Now,
okay,
even
since
if
you
the
are the defense
actus
lawyer
reus
now,
was
since you are
negligent,
the defense lawyer,
but the
what
mens
would you
rea
recommend?
but
to
the
be put
mens
in
rea
place
was
to
not
curb that?
was not focused on killing somebody. As an ex-cop, you should know that.
Yes. So as you are the defense lawyer now, as you are the defense lawyer, and I'm the prosecutor.
No, I'm not.
What should be put in place now to
I
curb
am
that?
not. I'm the third horseman and you are the fourth, and I expect you to be in the finest traditions of a horseman, okay?
Okay, my next contribution.
Quickly.
Sheldon, what do you think about these photos with Alan Chasney looking for, as you say, relevance, going around and dressing in madras and looking to move snap photos with Estefan in Babono, and then they put in things, calling him traitor and so on. To me, I wouldn't move a photo with Alan Chassis shaking his hands.
Let me ask you something. Last night I was at the gas station in Marisil Badouage on the flat there. There are two gas stations close to each other.
Yeah.
Last night or night before, because I didn't go out last night because of this. It must have been previously.
Okay, you were grounded. Go ahead.
But who did I meet there? Dominic Fede, my former co-worker at Radio St. Lucia and all of that. We've maintained a good relationship. We hugged each other. If somebody at that exact moment had come with a camera and snapped a picture of me embracing Dominic and they went to make anything about it, was I wrong to embrace him? He's been good to me. He's never been a guy who's been, at least not knowingly that I know about, nasty to me or anything of that kind. I'm not going to play and vex with him. When we're partying, we jam each other again. These are things in life. So people are going to do that. We're in the silly season, Silly things will happen and silly things will be done with it. Some more than others.
And Gaspar, keep an eye on the fact of where that picture originated from, and who Alan Chassis goes all around with his people, his social media and camera people. So they're always ready. It's staged.
I really feeling sad for this these family who losing lives of people. I feel sad.
Okay.
The little boy plus the cricketer who live behind his free children. Anyway, brothers. Have a good one.
You have to go. Now, don't go and hang anybody because they have an accident and somebody die, okay?
Okay, defense lawyer.
All right,
Have a good one.
It's all staged.
Cheers.
It's always
Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. We have someone on the line who looks like the Reverend Deacon from New York.
And that I know fake one. That is not one that manipulates people. Okay?
All right.
Shelton Bonobai, we have last year. Monsieur Papies ordained pastor. Okay? This guy is a manipulator. And I know he's listening to your program because he often refers to your program when he's on his program. So I know he's listening. Garfield is nothing but a manipulator. Playing on minds that are weak, trying to tie scripture with his dirty politics because he thinks he knows the gospel. Okay? Lebuka try to do what to bless, to curse, curse. That is just trying to manipulate people like Palmer Garfield capacity by shot. Because when I hear Garfield, some of the things that Garfield pronouncing and trying to tie to scripture. And I'm telling myself, by the way, I thought this guy should have known that the Bible said that as God does not share his altar with no other. False a liar because he has no part with them. And for the man to be listening to Alan Chasney lying and trying to make him look so godly. Children, I am not going to condemn anybody to hell because I don't have a hell and a heaven to put them. But let me tell you something. If Garfield continue like that, Satan will surely have his way with him. Because the man went out. Let me tell you. Children, the man went out as far, and I think I have told you that before. The man, I don't know how he found my bishop's number because my bishop live in Florida. This guy, I don't know how he was able because I don't hide nothing. So he knows the church that I go to. The man went as far as trying to call the bishop, finding out if I am an ordained member of the church as a deacon. When he got the answer he was not satisfied. It was his Sabbath day that started still trying to convince the pastor. Trying to find out if I was really, and when the pastor tell him, bro, I am second in command in the church. And without me in the church, the help that I give the pastor and bishop in the church, he was not satisfied.
In other words, the guy was trying to gather dirt on you.
Exactly.
Which to me is directly at variance with what the Bible says in two places. Love does not rejoice in unrighteousness, but it rejoices with the truth. It believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails.
There you go.
This guy was trying to find something unrighteous put into you that he could rejoice in, that he could make some kind of some flag about,
And when he could not find it, he was not happy enough. He kept provoking the pastor, trying to, and the bishop had to tell him, no, bro, that is my brother, that is my second in command in the church. And I never do that to Garfield. I have heard countless of stories about Garfield, but I would not go rejoicing if others about what he has done in his past, what he has said in his past, where he has been in his past. In anything, I will pray that he gets better. But this guy, when I heard this guy speak about St. Lucia and the people, and we always nasty, and we always this, and Shelton, I have to openly say this guy is no pastor, and this guy just using scripture to manipulate the minds of people.
Yeah.
You know, it really bothers me when I hear this guy speak. I listen to him, but it really, really bothers me as a child of God. I wouldn't say he's a servant of God because he's not a pastor. He's not a pastor. The way he went out to look for me, checking to see if I'm ordained, this guy has never been, just like Shasta, never been able to present to me a certificate.
Yeah.
You know? And so,
yeah.
But, you know, I just want to tell you, Shelton, we just have to be careful. We have to be wise in our thinking. We just have to know what is true from lies, you know. I mean, our people are well educated. I'm not one who's going to say St. Lucians are dumb and stupid. I think people will be able to discern what is right from wrong. And as you, Terry and Miguel Butu, my friend, I hate to call this guy Butu, you know. I hate to call him Butu, but Miguel has been doing, just keep telling the people what is true. And truth will resonate. Even if 3/4 of the world believe a lie before the truth, they will get it.
All right.
Thank you, Shelton.
Thank you very much. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I just want to call on our police officers as well. While we're experiencing a number of collisions on the road, our police officers themselves don't set an example. I'm talking about the very ones charged with upholding the traffic laws. The traffic department, which is located in Colonial House, there is a no right turn sign along the John Compton Highway. If it applies to everybody else, it should apply to you. You can't just cross two lanes because you yourself are going to cause a collision that may be even more devastating than what we experienced this weekend.
Okay, I hadn't ever noticed that.
They always do it.
We have the calls coming. Good afternoon to Mr. Victor Girard, who says our laws prohibit the addition of lights to vehicles. I wasn't aware of that.
Yes, I'm aware.
And by the way, Gaspar, with all your thing about wanting to hang people who cause death by dangerous driving, good day, Mr. Daniel. I've been meaning to point this out. This Mr. Gaspar Henry is one of the kindest persons I've met. He went out of his way to get me a chair to sit at Shanda's launching. Thanks, Mr. Henry. You see, sometimes small things you do to people, how deeply they appreciate it and so on.
That's
you know,
right.
this lady thinks of that. So woe be, should our dear Angie Kedu, who is the secretary in the constituency, the VF North constituency office of Honorable Moses Jabatis, Angie, try not to get into any accident, especially an accident that may result in a loss of life, because I'm telling you, all the kindness of Gaspar will depart from you on that day. But we have a call on the line. Real Issues. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
There's not much time, but then I want to say this. With all of the nice things that Angie said about Gaspar, I want to ask Gaspar what exactly he means by saying that drivers from Vieux-Fort are doing a particular thing to their vehicle. Simply because he mentioned it, an accident happened on Saturday in Vieux-Fort, and a child died in that accident in Vieux-Fort. So it's only the drivers from Vieux-Fort, in Vieux-Fort, that are doing whatever adjustments to their vehicles. Forget all the other accidents that are happening around the country. You choose to pick on Vieux-Fort. And you'll always do that to stigmatize us in Vieux-Fort. That same Saturday, a man posted a picture of bread being sold on Clark Street, and he captioned it with bloodshed. No linkage to the bloodshed and the bread. That's a give us Vieux-Fortians a break now.
You're done already?
She's upset.
She's upset, eh? Okay, all right, okay. Let's say happy birthday to Rufus Andre. Yeah, one of our frequent persons on the Facebook Live for the Real Issues. Rufus, wishing you the very best. You know, good health, long life, and all the joy on your special day. Do it, of course, with full enjoyment, but keep safe. We don't want to hear that just when you should be at the peak of your celebration and happiness that any mishap befalls you. I wonder who certified the George Odlum Stadium as a hospital. That's a question somebody's asking. And I'm sure it's in response to all the talk about who is certifying and accrediting the St. Jude Hospital. Maybe CHTTI certified the George Odlum Stadium. CHTT guy. Folks, we've run out of time. And to those people who are worried about Terry being subdued today, you know the days when Terry is on fire? He really is on fire, and Miguel and I alone, we keep ourselves pretty quiet to let him do his thing. He's just a little bit on the tired side today. Yes. Very active weekend for him. Very hardworking man in education, by the way. He's still a consultant in the politics. I can tell you, he's very actively helping political efforts, if not in many, but in at least one constituency that I know of. And he's a man who is, a go-to person in the cultural movement and so many other things. So Terry's a little bit, not under the weather, but, maybe a little drained today. But I can assure you, he shows up tomorrow, whatever, he'll be fully recharged. The lotto is on now. We got to run, folks. Right. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters.
Big for Multi-X FP. Pick 293. Pick 2 Multi-X 2X. One off 438. Lucky 3 798. Lucky 3 Multi-X 2X.
The man, the voice, the voice.